Hello friends, in this video we will discuss about the different relationships among planets. They are natural relationship, temporary relationship and compound relationship. So those relationships about the planets are mentioned in the Vedic Astrology text, mainly in Brihat Parasara Hora Shastra. So let's get started. So first of all, these are the 9 planets. They are Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Rahu and Ketu. So these are the 9 planets that's present in Vedic astrology. These are the 12 signs that's present in, or that's mentioned in Vedic astrology. So they are Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius and Pisces. And so each zodiac signs are ruled by a certain planet. So these are just the planet and signs rulership relationship. So the Aries sign is ruled by Mars, Taurus is ruled by Venus, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, Cancer is ruled by Moon, Leo is ruled by Sun, Virgo is ruled by Mercury, Libra is ruled by Venus, Scorpio is ruled by Mars, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, and Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. So this table is just about the planet zodiac relationship or rulership. So as you can see, Mars, the planet Mars rules 2 signs, Aries and Scorpio. Venus rules 2 signs, Taurus and Libra. Mercury rules 2 signs, Gemini and Virgo. Moon and Sun are the only 2 planets. These 2 planets rules only 1 sign. So Moon rules Cancer, Sun rules Leo, and Jupiter rules 2 signs that are Sagittarius and Pisces, and Saturn rules 2 signs that are Capricorn and Aquarius. Now let's look into the planet strengths. So I have already discussed about the planet strengths in my previous video. So this table is just about the planets that rules different signs and the Mool Trikona sign of each planet, and also we'll see the exaltation and debilitation sign of each planet in this table. And the degree mentioned in this table is about the degree where the planets are considered to be in Moon on sign, or the degree where the planets are considered to be in its Mool Trikona sign, and also the degree where the planet is considered to be at its peak exaltation sign or its peak debilitation sign. So we need to know about this on sign, Mool Trikona, exaltation signs, because we will need these information while calculating the relationship between planets. So for natural relationship or natural friendship rule, so let's look into this. So for any planet to have natural friendship, so the rule is the lord of its exaltation sign is its friend. So for example, Sun, for example, the planet Sun is exalted in Aries, and the ruler of Aries is Mars. So Mars is naturally a friend of Sun. So when we go back, we see this rulership is also important here. So the ruler of Aries here is Mars. The Aries sign's ruler is the planet Mars, and Sun is exalted on Aries sign. So the ruler of Aries, that is Mars, is the natural friend of Sun. So that's the first rule. And the second rule is lords of the 2nd, 4th, 5th, 8th, 9th and 12th from its Mool Trikona sign. So we need to, if we are calculating the natural friendship of Sun, then here I have described about this. So the exaltation of Sun is Aries and the ruler is Mars. So Mars is this friend of Sun. So the Mool Trikona sign of Sun is Leo. So when we go back to the slide, so the Mool Trikona sign of Sun is Leo. So the lords of 2nd, 4th, 5th, 8th, 9th and 12th sign from its Mool Trikona sign are its friends. So 2nd, 4th, 5th, 8th, 9th, 12th from Leo, that is the Mool Trikona sign of Sun. So those planets, the 2nd from Leo is Virgo, so the ruler is Mercury. 4th from Leo is Scorpio, the ruler is Mars. Similarly, 5th is Sagittarius, 8th is Pisces, 9th is Aries, and 12th is Cancer. So the friend of, by the second rule, the friend of Sun are Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Pisces, Jupiter, and again Jupiter, Mars, and Moon. And now let's look into the third rule, where it says lords of other races than the above are its enemies. So if it's a so from the Mool Trikona sign of Sun, if the third sign from the Mool Trikona sign of Sun is the enemy of Sun. Similarly, the 6th sign is enemy, 7th sign is enemy, and 11th sign, 10th and 11th sign, which are not present here, are the enemy of Sun. So those planets are, those signs are Taurus, Gemini, Libra, Capricorn, and Aquarius. So the ruler of those signs, like Venus, Mercury, again Venus, Saturn, and Saturn. So these are the enemy of Sun. And the 4th rule says that if a planet becomes both friend and enemy, it's a neutral planet. So here we can see that Mercury is a friend of Sun, and also, as it's the ruler of Virgo, and also Mercury is enemy of Sun because it's a ruler of Gemini. So Mercury is present in the friends list and also in the enemy list. Because of that, Mercury is a neutral planet for the Sun. So this way we calculate the natural friends, natural enemies, and natural neutral planets of any planet. So now let's look into the natural friendship of moons. So the exaltation of Moon is the sign Taurus, and the ruler is Venus. The Mool Trikona of Moon is Taurus, and the ruler is also same Venus. And so from the first rule, the exaltation sign, the lord of the exaltation sign. So Moon. So the lord of Taurus is Venus. So Venus becomes a friend of Moon. Now from the second rule, the 2nd, 4th, 5th, 8th, 9th, and 12th from Taurus are Gemini, Leo, Virgo, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aries. So those signs ruler, Mercury, Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, they become friends of Moon. Now let's look into the third rule, the lord of other races. So lord of 3rd, 6th, 7th, 10th, 11th, these races are Libra, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Pisces. So the remaining races, or the other way we can calculate is we have these different races 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the remaining races are we can just figure out like what are the remaining races from after we mention these. Then the remaining races are Libra, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Pisces. So these are the enemies of Moon. So to calculate the neutral races or planets, so we can see that Venus is a friend here and Venus is enemy here, and similarly Mars is a friend here and Mars is enemy here. Saturn is a friend here and Saturn is again enemy here. Jupiter is a friend here and Jupiter is enemy here. So Venus, Mars, Saturn, and Jupiter, they become neutral because they are both friend and enemy. So for Moon, so I have so as you can see, there aren't any enemies because these 4 planets becomes neutral, so there aren't any enemy for Moon. So this is the table for all the planets, all the 7 planets, the natural friendship table. So for Sun, Moon, Mars, Jupiter are friends, Venus and Saturn are enemies, Mercury is neutral. For Moon, Sun, and Mercury are friend. There is no enemy of Moon, and the neutral planets for Moon are Mars, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn. For Mars, Sun, Moon, Jupiter are friend, Mercury is enemy, and Venus and Saturn are neutral. For Mercury, Sun and Venus are friend, Moon is enemy, and Mars, Jupiter, Saturn are neutral. For Jupiter, Sun, Moon, Mars friend, Mercury, Venus enemy, Saturn neutral. For Venus, Mercury, Saturn friend, Sun, Moon enemy, Mars, Jupiter neutral. And for Saturn, Mercury, Venus friend, Sun, Moon, Mars enemy, and Jupiter is neutral. So this is the natural friendship of the planets. Now let's move on to temporary friendship. So the temporary friendship or relationship is based on the position of the planets in the chart. So we have this example chart, and we'll calculate the temporary friendship of planets based on the placement of the planets in this example chart. So the rules for temporary friendship is planets present in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 10th, 11th and 12th sign from itself are its temporary friends. And planets present in other houses or signs are its enemies, and we are not considering Rahu and Ketu over here. So let's calculate the Sun's temporary friendship based on this example chart. So in this chart, Sun is in 10th house, so over here. So the first house is always in the North Indian format of this is the South Indian format, and this is the North Indian format of the chart. So in North Indian format, the first house is this house is always the first house. And from here, when you calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is the 10th house. And the number shown here is actually the sign, zodiac sign. So 1 is Aries, 2 is Taurus, 3 is Gemini, 4 is Cancer. So similarly 5 is Leo. So similarly the signs goes on. So Sun is in 10th house in this chart and in the sign of Aries. And so from the rule above, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 10th, 11th and 12th houses from 10th house is, or the Aries signs are, the 2nd house is 11th house. Like from 10th house, the 2nd house is the 11th house of this chart. Or from Aries, the 2nd house is Taurus. And 3rd house is the 12th house or the Gemini sign. Similarly, the 4th house is the 1st house from 10th house, the 1st house of this chart. So from 10th house, the 4th house, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4th house is the 1st house of this chart or the Cancer sign. So the 10th house from Sun is the 7th house of this chart, and that's Capricorn sign. And the 11th house is 8th house from this chart, and it's Aquarius sign. 12th house is 9th house of this chart, and it's Pisces sign. So planets in those signs. So it says that planets present in these houses or signs from itself are its temporary friends. So planets present in these houses. So planets present in 2nd house is from Sun is Mercury, and we're not considering Rahu and Ketu. So planets present in from the 4th house from Sun, 1, 2, 3, 4. Jupiter and Moon, so they are also friend. And the 10th house there is Mars, so Mars is also friend. And 12th house from Sun, it's Venus, so Venus is also friend. So planets in other houses. So in other houses other than these houses, the other house is only this 4th house of this chart, and that's Saturn. So Saturn is the enemy. So that way we have calculated the temporary friendship of Sun. Now similarly, let's calculate the temporary friendship of, or the temporary relationship of Moon of this chart. So Moon is in the 1st house in Cancer sign. So the 2nd house from Moon, there isn't any planet. 3rd house from Moon, there isn't any planet. 4th house from Moon, there is Saturn. So Saturn is its friend. And 10th house from Moon, Sun is also its friend. 11th house, Mercury is its friend. Mercury is friend for Moon based on this chart. And 12th house, Ketu, we are not considering Ketu and Rahu. So based on this chart, the temporary friends of Moon are Saturn, Sun and Mercury. And just so the planets in other houses are Mars, Jupiter and Venus. So they are not the temporary friends of Moon. So the friends are Saturn, Sun, Mercury. Enemies are Mars, Jupiter, Venus. So since like Jupiter is also in the same house as Moon, so Jupiter will also have same friends and enemies like Moon. So this is the table of temporary friendship of planets based on this chart. So Sun is friend of Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, and enemy is Saturn. Moon is friend of Sun, Mercury, Saturn, and enemies are Mars, Jupiter, Venus. Mars is friend of Sun, Venus, Saturn. Enemies are Moon, Mercury, Jupiter. Mercury is friend of Sun, Moon, Jupiter, Venus. Enemies are Mars, Saturn. Jupiter is friend of Sun, Mercury, Saturn. Enemies are Mars, Moon, Venus. Venus is friend of Sun, Mars, Mercury. Enemies are Moon, Jupiter, Saturn. Saturn is friend of Moon, Mars, Jupiter. Enemies are Sun, Mercury, Venus. So now finally we'll calculate the compound friendship. It's also called Panchada Maitri in Vedic astrology. So the compound friendship or compound relationship between planets is determined by combining permanent or the natural friendship and temporary friendship that's based on each chart. So based on the example chart that we are using, so let's look into the rules for compound friendship. So if a planet is, for example, for any planet, if a planet is a natural friend and also a temporary friend, then that planet is said to be best friend. So those two planets are best friend. So it's also called Adi Mitra. And if it's a natural friend and temporary enemy, then it's neutral. If it's natural, neutral, and temporary friend, then it's just a friend. If it's natural, neutral, and temporary enemy, it's enemy. And if it's natural enemy and temporary friend, then it's neutral. And if it's natural enemy and temporary enemy, so both enemies, then it's the worst enemy, or also called Adi Satru. So for the example chart that we have, based on the compound friendship rule, so we calculate this table. So the natural friendship and natural enemy and natural neutral, so these are, so this natural friendship, enemy, and neutral, this is same everywhere. It's same for all the charts. However, the temporary friendship, temporary enemy, so this is different for different charts. So each chart will have different temporary friends for each planets and different temporary enemy for each planets. So it's based, this is temporary friendship and temporary enmity is solely based on the position of the planets in the chart. So for this chart, we have these temporary friendship and enemy, and we have the natural friendship, enemy, and neutral, the universal natural friendship or natural relationship over here, and then we have the temporary friendship and enmity over here. So based on these two data, we will calculate the compound friendship or compound relationship between planets. So CV friend means compound best friend, C friend means compound friend, CW enemy means compound worst enemy, C enemy means compound enemy, and C neutral means compound neutral. So we'll based on this compound friendship rule, we'll look into the friendship or natural friendship and temporary friendship, and then calculate the compound friendship or compound relationship. So I've calculated the compound relationships of all the planets. So for example, the compound in the compound relationship for planet Sun, so the best friend for suns are Moon, Mars, and Jupiter, and Mercury is just a normal friend for Sun, and Saturn is the worst enemy for Sun. The Sun doesn't have any normal enemy, and Venus is neutral for Sun. And the compound relationship for Moon are Sun and Mercury are the best friend for Moon. Saturn is just a normal friend. There isn't any worst enemy for Moon. Mars, Jupiter, and Venus are enemies of Moon, and there isn't any neutral planet for Moon. So similarly, we can calculate the compound relationship of planets of different other planets, so which I have already calculated here. So what we need to keep in mind is that the compound relationship, to have a compound relationship, we need to study, or we need to have a chart. And natural relationship, it doesn't depend upon any chart. It's a universal relationship. And temporary relationship and compound relationship, these are chart dependent. So this is not a universal relationship. So this chart has this compound relationship, and your chart will have a different relationship. So Sun could have a different best friend, or could have a different worst enemy different planets in this watched enemy section for your chart or for some other person's chart. So yeah, that's all for this video. I hope you liked this video or you found this video helpful. So please like the video, comment if you have any questions, please share the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you.